Hello again and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is Jesse and I'm back for another iOS accessible app, game, AI video, kind of a combination of all three. Because this is an app, I don't remember if I discovered this on AppleVis or Twitter. I forget where I found it, but we are taking a look at an app called
Playen, recently updated.
Plaicin. I don't know how to properly say this, so that's why I had VoiceOver say it. I'll spell it here for you.
Characters. Cap P L A I C I N, comma.
Plaicin. That's as close as I'm going to get. I don't know. This is, I covered the Ally app a couple of times so far, and in one of them, I showed you that little Christmas holiday kind of a light D&D adventure type of thing. This doesn't, I don't think, in some ways doesn't go that far, but it's kind of using AI to, you give it an overview, a description, and parameters, and then you can further customize your scenarios. And then the AI kind of just goes off and makes different scenarios based on what you choose to, or what you originally created, and how you choose to play through it. So it's kind of like a text adventure. It does use its own AI voices, and you can create your own adventures. You can view other people's creations. You can, when you create something, you can set it to be private or public. I've dabbled with this a little bit. I've played a little bit of an adventure that someone else has made, and then I tried creating a couple of different adventures. And so we're going to take a look at it. Let's go ahead and open it up, because it's sort of hard to explain without just going into it here. And it's, okay, there we go. It's taken a while to load. So,
white text on the black background, white text on the black open search button.
You do have a search, so if you want to look for a specific like tag or title, because you're getting a lot of like, you'll get worlds based on, existing properties. Like the one that I was originally playing was based on Batman. And then there's kind of more documentary style, there's comedy, there's sci-fi. I mean, just any little thing that you can kind of imagine. And we'll get into that here in momentarily. Unfortunately, there are a couple of unlabeled buttons, like 3 or so.
Join Discord community button.
Oh.
Switch to light theme button. View profile button.
Okay, I literally had an update since yesterday. I pleasantly stand corrected. These were not labeled buttons when I looked at this literally yesterday as I'm recording this. So huzzah! Label buttons for the win.
Switch to join Discord open search button.
Okay.
Join Discord community button.
Join Discord.
Switch to light theme button.
Light theme? No. Gotta have the dark theme.
View profile button.
And my profile. Cool. Okay, so it looks like they have added a little more accessibility even since I last looked. So this will be interesting. Let's go ahead and flick again.
My worlds.
So I got my worlds.
Selected. All tab. Switch
you
to
have
section.
all.
Created tab. Switch
and
to
created. So if you want to see like all of the worlds that, like other worlds that you have looked at from other people's creations, you can go to all. If you just want to see the worlds that you have created, excuse me, you can do that as well. And right now we're going to leave it at all, and we'll swipe to the right again.
Unseen potential world card. A child sitting at a table with a computer and posing.
Unseen potential. This is one that I literally just created yesterday in preparation for this video. I have not gone into it, so I have no idea what it's going to be like. We'll do that here in a moment.
View details for Unseen Potential. Gotham's Labyrinth world card. An illustration of a black creature with horns.
Gotham's Labyrinth. So that one is Batman, and he's facing down the Riddler. It's been a pretty slow adventure so far. It's mainly been Bruce and Alfred in the Batcave, kind of doing some things. There was an initial scene, but we're just going to kind of jump in I'll show you a little bit of that one here in a little bit.
View details for Gotham's Labyrinth. Play unseen potential. Button. Play Gotham's Labyrinth. Discover worlds.
So now you have Discover Worlds, and
Course, it's in
here...
Cutlass's world card. A movie poster with text and an illustration. Course, it's in Cutlass's world card. A movie poster with text and an illustration of two
Okay.
characters that might be a demonstration. X. Celeste Ardenti Investigator world card. A screenshot of a SKUGGLILJAN world card. A screenshot of a social media post with text and an image of a silhouette of Rise of the Unicorn. Victor's Legacy. Twilight of the Chosen world card. A screen. Sight Unseen. Spirit Unbroken world card. A screenshot. Buzzer Beater. Court of Fear world card. A screenshot of a video game with text and a Sanctuary of Wolves world card. The Tower of Golden Dreams world card. All worlds. The Art of a Deal world card. A screenshot of a social media. All worlds. A screenshot of the Art of a Deal world card. A screenshot of a social media robot Yoda world card. A screenshot of a video game with an
So, interestingly, actually, let me tap one of these again
robot
here.
Yoda world card. A screenshot of a video game with an illustration of a cartoon character and text. Robot. Yodel. Create world. My worlds discover all YQ. Actions available.
So, interestingly, compared to yesterday, it reads the cards better. But in the previous version, it would tell you like before the update, it would tell you the name of the world, and then it would give you a look at, or it would tell you like, oh, this is sci-fi, this is comedy, this is kind of an anime type of thing. So I'm assuming you just basically have to go into each one of these, and it'll take you to the overview screen of the scenario, because you can either just go in and play them, or you can look at the overview and then decide whether you want to play them or not. Let's go all the way back up to the top. And
Rise of the Unicorn. Victor's page 2 of 14. Celeste Art page refreshing content.
So let's go into this.
Play Gotham's Labyrinth button. And illustration. Gotham's Labyrinth world card.
Let's go Gotham's Labyrinth world
Building,
card.
Screenshot. Sign. Storm.
And I should also mention on the
building.
Yeah,
Screenshot,
let me.
Sign, so building. Screenshot. Sign. Use building. Screen. Airplay video. Airplay video. 8:30. Do not disturb. Image. Status. Gotham's Lab. Sapphire. Omits. Use age. Action. Crime. Dark fantasy. Detective. Psycho. Super. Thriller. Urban. Created. Delete world. Edit world. Remix world. These are the core characters. Alfred Pennyworth.
Okay.
Page,
I was gonna. There are some tabs. I believe there were some tabs across the bottom, but I forgot to go through that. So when you go into one of these cards, these world cards, you are given a title.
Building. Screenshot. Sign. Storm. Gotham's Labyrinth. Head.
And these are not created, interestingly, by the creator. The AI, whatever model it's using, is basically using the information that you create, the data that you give it, and it creates the world, it creates the characters, unless you explicitly tell them, I want to play as this character, and I want these locations. Like, you can be as vague or as specific as you want to be. It does use, now here's kind of a, I would say, controversial thing, and I kind of get both sides. Ordinarily, I do not support games and apps that use AI-generated art and AI-generated voice acting, that kind of a thing, because again, you know, you want the human artistic touch. You know, if you have visuals, you want human created art. You want to have, you know, the artist's style. If you're using created music or created voice acting, you want, obviously, you know, human created music. You want to get the original creator's vibe. You want to get the actual inflection and human tonality to the voice acting. So I fully agree with that sentiment. But like I said, this, I'm kind of cutting it a little bit of slack, because it's like the graphics don't really, I mean, yes, they add some mood to it, but you're primarily creating sort of text adventures here. And to make it accessible, and you know, you can actually read the text with your screen reader. So with VoiceOver, you can read it. Or you can have it read it using its own sort of AI voices. And especially when you're looking at, you know, again, I'm looking at it from an accessibility standpoint, where blind and low vision players, especially totally blind players, don't have a lot of options. Yes, we're getting more accessible games. Yes, we're getting more accessible mainstream games. But, again, even as a low vision user, I can go to Steam, I can go to Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. Um, Even with some visible vision, I have dozens, hundreds, thousands of games that I can go play from past, present, and anything in between. Um, but blind players don't have that. So, yes, it's using AI to generate basically everything, but it gives something more uh, in blind game accessibility, more things for people to try and play. So, and it is interesting to see how these worlds are created and what happens. So let's swipe to the right again.
Sapphire Dark Mountain. Amidst Gotham's deepening shadows, Bruce Wayne struggles to reconcile his dual life as both a billionaire philanthropist and the vigilante Batman. When a new, enigmatic villain known as the Riddler emerges, challenging Gotham's foundations with intricate puzzles and psychological warfare, Batman must confront not only a cunning adversary but also the ghosts of his own past. As the city descends into chaos, Bruce's choices will redefine his legacy in Gotham's future. Users who enjoy dark, brooding narratives, psychological thrillers, and a strong focus on character depth and moral ambiguity within the superhero genre will appreciate the story. This world is for those who seek to explore the complex motivations behind heroism and villainy.
I should also mention the nice thing about this is if you're using Ally, one of the current limitations, again, this could change in the future, but you can only play with whatever you create in the Ally app during that current session. So if you start an adventure that you really kind of like, you can keep playing and playing and playing, but then once you close the app or once you go home or whatever, and you come back, let's say later that day or even tomorrow, you are going to lose all of that progress, all of that data. Whereas this is nice because it will let you continue literally where you left off. So I can, again, it's a really slow burn from what I've played of this scenario so far, but I could come back and play this over time, and I can play this for hours, days, weeks, whatever. So that's a good thing. And then it gives you kind of tags as far as what type of world this is.
Age, teens.
Okay, there's your teen rating.
Action, crime, dark fantasy, detective, psychological, superhero, thriller, urban. Created June 4th, 2025.
Okay, so that was created pretty new.
Edit world button. Opens the world editor to customize characters, locations, and
so
settings.
Edit world, I don't know how much control I will have over this because I'm not the creator of this.
Remix world button.
Remix world, I think this option is only available if it's someone else's, because I was playing with this earlier, and when I was in my created world, it didn't seem like this remix world was there. So this might be a way to take what the original world that they made, make your own tweaks to it, and then you can kind of call it something of your own.
These are the core elements of the world. As you play, AI evolves the world based on your choices.
Right.
Characters.
So then it gives you characters.
Alfred Pennyworth.
Yep, good old Alfred.
Alfred Pennyworth is Bruce Wayne's dignified and unwavering butler, serving not only as a caretaker but also as a moral compass and a quiet anchor in the tumultuous life of the Dark Knight. He provides dry wit, practical advice.
Yeah. Gordon.
Commissioner James Gordon is a grizzled Nora Freeze. Nora Freeze is a sharp, cynical GCPD detective and former
okay.
Commissioner Gordon. She possesses a keen Batman/Bruce Wayne. The Dark Knight, Gotham's vigilante protector, and built locations. Batcave. Access through a secret entrance, Gotham rooftop. Arrange lit rooftop items. Giant question mark.
Right. So it's giving you some overview of different locations, items, characters, that kind of a thing. Let's go ahead and just let's go ahead and play. It's in the bottom right-hand corner. Now we have two options here.
Create new world button.
In this case, we have create new world, and we can start from the beginning, or
Gotham's Labyrinth, last played 2 days ago button.
Last played 2 days ago. This is where I can pick up right where I left off. So let's say that you play a world for a while, and then you're like, I want to go back and play it a totally different way. I can literally go back and start from the beginning, and then I will have both branches that I can play through. It's like, think about your Mass Effect. I want to play the Paragon and Renegade. I want to play kind of both sides of the coin. So this game does let you do that. Let's go ahead and go in.
Loading message, creating the main characters, a rather bloody form of punctuation.
And what message would that be? That Gotham's elected officials are not as pristine as their campaign posters suggest?
So basically what happens here is you have your little artwork. That voice that you heard was Alfred. And it's kind of neat because you can literally, it gives the overall text narrator a voice, but then it gives your key characters of the game different voices. I think in this case the Alfred voice is pretty spot on. I think that fits what Alfred would be pretty well. And like I said, you can use VoiceOver and just read it. You can literally turn the AI voices off. There's a little setting if you flick enough in the screen.
A screenshot of a video game.
But
with
if I
text and a
if I
rather bloody form
tap
of
here,
punctuation. And what message would that be? That Gotham's elected officials are not as pristine as their campaign posters suggest.
and all I have to do is focus on that and double tap, and it will advance the text to the next thing. So I'm just going to temporarily turn VoiceOver off. Again, this is accessible with VoiceOver, but so we don't have multiple voices talking over each other, I'm going to turn VoiceOver off. And I'm just going to tap.
A hardly novel concept.
So there's Alfred.
It's deeper than that. He's not just exposing corruption. He's targeting a specific brand of it. Look.
So that's Batman, or Bruce.
Bruce points to a string of shell corporations. Ransom's name is buried 3 layers deep, connected to offshore accounts that have been dormant for years.
So that is your narrator voice, separate from, of course, the Bruce and the Alfred voices so far.
Regular back alley graft, payoffs, kickbacks from city construction contracts, standard Gotham fare. But this is different.
Okay.
He isolates one transaction, a massive one-time payment made 10 years ago from a holding company called Argent Developments.
So we're in the Batcave, and we're looking at this huge multi-monitor setup here of his Bat computer. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So then it pops up with a little picture.
Argent Developments? I don't recognize the name.
Neither does the Gotham City Registry of Corporations. It's a ghost. But the routing number, it's internal.
So you can kind of tell, like, the AI voices are not bad, but you can sort of tell that you hear, at least I can hear, like, it's a little jerky. Not horribly bad, but, like, you can kind of tell. I've heard a little bit smoother voices. I said I think the 11 Labs are some of the most realistic I've heard. But you do get the little hiccups, little pops as it's pronouncing things, especially on the Bruce voice. But other than that, it's not terrible. It's not bad.
The computer cross-references the number, and a familiar logo flashes onto the screen. Wayne Enterprises.
Okay.
The old pre-merger logo from his father's era. Bruce stiffens, a muscle in his jaw tightening.
And I wait for a second before I tap.
Master Bruce, that's impossible. Your father's records were impeccable.
The records he kept, yes. This transaction was buried, expunged from the main server. It was meant to be forgotten.
Intrigue.
Why would the Riddler want me to find this?
Perhaps the question is not why he wants you to find it, but what he believes you will do with it.
Fair enough.
This is a poison pill, sir. A direct attack on your family's legacy.
Sounds about right.
It's a lead. The first real one. Who else was involved in Argent Developments? Cross-reference the payment date with major Wayne Enterprises projects from that time.
The computer whirs again, its fans kicking up. After a moment, a list of names appears. All of them prominent Gotham figures.
Naturally.
All of them on the guest list for the GCPD charity gala tomorrow night.
Okay. Right. So, yeah, that was something that happened earlier. We started with a little meeting with Commissioner Gordon, And then we came to the Batcave. We did some initial conversation with Bruce and Alfred, and there's some gala thing that we have to go to the next day. Now, well, the interesting thing is, at any point, if I turn VoiceOver back on, we can continue as usual.
VoiceOver on. Play as.
But we're also given a little more leeway. So here is the text.
All of them on the guest list for the GCPD audio settings button.
I'm going to flick.
Go to home button.
I can
Returns
go
to the main
home.
homepage.
That will take me back, to our home screen and I can choose a different game to play.
Edit world button.
Edit world.
Rewind the story button.
Rewind the
Goes back to
story.
previous story content. Interact with the story button.
Interact with the story. Now this is where, again, instead of just treating it like, okay, I'm just going to listen to what it says, and then when choices come up, because I haven't had a lot of them so far, but, multiple choices have come up from time to time. Like, I could have gone back to the crime scene earlier. I could have talked to Gordon again. I could have done a few other things. I chose to do a little bit of research since I was already in the Batcave. But what you can do is interact with the world, and it brings up a little chat interface, just like you would any sort of AI chatbot type of thing. And you can just literally, instead of, even right now, when I'm not even presented with a choice, if I had an idea, I could be like, oh, let's look up, I want to look up a list. I could say list the names of these people that it found who are going to be at the gala. Or I could, go in a totally different path and have the computer look something up. Or I could say, we're done here. Let's go back to the crime scene. Or I could do something totally different. And so you can create your own text prompts to take the story in whatever path or diversion that you want. So that's kind of a cool thing that you can do.
Enable autoplay button.
And if you want to enable,
without input.
you can, if you want to just kick back and maybe see what an AI story comes up with. Maybe you're lying in bed and can't sleep. I'm just going to, listen to a Batman story in this case and see where things take us. So those are some of the options that you can do. Let's do a little bit more here.
Guest list for the GCPD. All of them on the guest list for the GCPD charity gala tomorrow night. VoiceOver off.
Filling up, sir. What is your intention? To confront them all at the gala?
Maybe.
In front of the entire city?
Maybe while they're at the gala, we can go snoop in their offices or their homes and see if we can find some hidden dirt on them, because they'll all be at that one place, and I can...
I'm not going there for the canapes, Alfred. I'm going to watch them, listen, see who flinches when the light gets too bright. This isn't just about ransom anymore.
He looks from the screen, showing his father's company logo to the guest list for the party. A party he is expected to attend.
So what I was half jokingly just saying, if I wanted to, I could do that. I was like, oh, well, they're at the party. I could just forego the party, and we'll just go try to see if we can get some dirt on them while I know they're distracted and they're not going to be at their offices. Or, I could pinpoint a certain person and go after them, or again, take it to whatever path I wanted.
The isolation he felt moments ago now has a sharp, jagged edge of personal history.
You are walking into a viper's nest, Bruce. These are not common thugs. They are the architects of the city.
Well, then we'll just beat them up.
Good. It's time someone inspected the foundations.
Bruce's discovery has linked the Riddler's victim to a decade-old conspiracy, one that implicates his own family's company and many of Gotham's elite, who will all be attending a gala the next evening. Bruce Wayne's choices.
Aha.
Focus the investigation on the Wayne Enterprises connection, digging into his own family's archives first. Have Alfred discreetly gather intel on the other names on the Argent Developments list before the gala. Prepare surveillance equipment to deploy at the gala to monitor the key suspects. Try to find a digital trail for the Riddler originating from this old conspiracy.
So now we have
VoiceOver
choices.
on. Playen. Story choices dialog.
Um,
Rewind the story button. Go.
I kind of want to do all of them. I wish, and I don't know
Rewind the
if...
story. Rewind the edit world button.
Okay, so I
Rewind
don't
the story.
have the interact right now. I suppose if once I made a choice, then I could interact with the world. So let's say that I told, like, yeah, let's have Alfred discreetly do some research prior to the gala. And once it starts doing the next scene, then I could interact with the world and say, well, now that Alfred is doing that, let's go ahead and set up some surveillance equipment so we can monitor everybody, not just where Bruce is. And maybe, maybe that's what let's see if we can try to do that. Let's,
Story choices dialog. Audio settings. Go to home. Audio set story choices dialog. Story choices dialog.
uh-oh.
Rewind the story button.
Houston,
Goes
we
back to
have a
previous story content.
problem. Uh-oh, because in the last update, this worked. They may have fixed some things and broken others.
Edit world button.
Because...
Go to home button. Audio settings button. Story choices dialog. Story choices dialog. Story choices dialog. Loading. Waiting
Oh,
for players.
no.
A person sitting in front of screens. 54 degrees Celsius. Star 8. Edit.
So we are loading now. I don't know what choice I made. Ordinarily, you would be able to flick through those, and until yesterday's update, you could, because I've made previous choices, but now it's making all of those choices, lumping them as one item. So VoiceOver, they broke that. They labeled those buttons on the home screen better. But the choices...
With text and a character wearing
Have
the Batman
Alfred
costume.
discreetly gather intel on the other names on the Argent Developments list before the gala.
Oh. Okay. So, coincidentally, I don't know if I got lucky or what, but that is actually what I wanted to do, so...
Have Alfred discreetly gather intel on the other names on the Argent Development.
I shall endeavor to unearth any skeletons in their closets. Though given the names on this list, I expect it will be less of a closet and more of a mausoleum.
So now that we're in a story again...
Audio settings. Go to home. Edit world button. Rewind the story. Interact with the story.
Let's
Button.
interact.
Story interaction dialog.
And let's say...
Dictate. Double tap.
While Alfred is researching... Have Bruce set up surveillance equipment prior to the gala, period.
Inserted while Alfred is researching. Have Bruce set up surveillance equipment prior to the gala. Send. You send.
So let's do that. And because it's going to the cloud, it's generating. So it's... Again, it's kind of rejiggering the whole scenario here. So let's see where it goes from here.
Send.
Oh.
Send.
VoiceOver
off.
I thought it was... I was hoping it would say like dimmed or grayed out. Because I don't know if it's actually working right now or if... Let's see what it says here.
Plaicin. Story interaction dialog. Story interaction dialog. Audio settings. But go to home. Edit world. Rewind this. Enable auto. Cap Q. Quebec cap W. Cap. Enable. Edit. Go to audio. Story interaction dialog. Go to home. Button. Edit world. Button. Go to home. Button. Returns. Story interaction dialog.
So...
Story interaction dialog. Of course, sir. I shall endeavor to unearth any skeletons in their plot. Interact with the story. Button.
It's weird because, again, it seems like they broke some things and they fixed some things in the update that I got in the last day or so. So they may need to do a little bit of tweaking on the interact screen. Again, that was working too because I was playing with that in a different story earlier.
Interact with the story. Button. Story
So
interaction
I
dialog.
want to see, does it remember?
Story interaction dialog. Audio set. Story interaction dialog.
I mean, oh, there you go. I mean, at least it is what it is. You guys will have to play with it a little bit and see. Hopefully, if the developers watch this video, they can kind of see what is happening, and I hope that they do fix not only the interact screen here, but especially the choices thing, because it read them. The AI voices read them, but again, before yesterday, I was able to flick through each one of those separate choices with VoiceOver and choose which one I wanted, but now it's just lumping them all together. So yeah, it's definitely a work in progress. So that's a Batman story. Let's go home.
Go to home. Button. Go to home. White text on the black
And
background. 8,
let's
58
go
Gotham's Labyrinth
into
world card. An illustration of Gotham's Labyrinth world card. Unseen potential world card. A group of
Unseen
peoples.
Potential.
Adult computer.
Now, before we go into this one and just see what it in fact creates, this is one that I attempted to create, and I want to give you a little bit of background because I originally created and deleted a different story because what I tried to create, I think, was a little bit too ambitious for what the capabilities of this AI app are at the moment. Originally, I was trying to think of something that would be unique, that other people wouldn't create, something that wasn't necessarily based on copyright. So I had originally tried to create a story where I tried to coax it to create something where at the beginning you're not given like a specific character to play. Instead, I was trying to see if I could make it, I can choose what kind of character. I could have it ask me what I wanted for my background. Was I from the city? Was I a rural? Did I grow up in a rural setting? Was I born into wealth? Was I poor? And then I was also trying to give it some background on, let's play a sort of slice of life sim type of story where you play as somebody with a disability. And I was hoping that I could make it like, do you want to play with someone with a vision, hearing, mobility impairment? But again, that is, I think, at least unless you have to word it a lot differently or somehow, it didn't seem to like giving you those choices, and instead it just chose one of those things and said, here's your character, here's their friend, go. So it didn't give you those initial customization settings like I was hoping. Again, think of it like before you start your D&D adventure, you create your character sheet. Are you an orc? Are you an elf? Are you a human? Adjusting some stats, your background. But I was taking that as a little bit of a simpler way because I was sort of hoping to create, and even in the description I said, and I want this to be just in like an average story. I want there to be opportunities. I want there to be challenges. But I do not want this person does not have superpowers. He's not, like if he's blind, he's not Daredevil. But it's not a pity story either. And it is not your typical, anytime you have a story with somebody with a disability, it's about it overcoming adversity and it's inspiration porn, that whole term. I don't want it to be that either. Like, having a disability, yes, you have some disability challenges, but everybody also has regular life challenges. You gotta get a job, you gotta pay your rent. If you're looking for a relationship, your car breaks down, you're whatever, you're any number of things that can happen to anybody. I don't want it to just be like, look at all these obstacles that this person with a disability overcame. So I was trying to create a scenario like that, and then I tried to modify it, and interestingly, the AI got so garbled up because it originally tried to create a character who was in a wheelchair, and just it was leaning a little bit more toward the inspiration porn side of things, so I was trying to tweak that a little bit. And I didn't really like the characters as much. I didn't relate to them as much. So I said, well, let's see if we can, let's make it a musician, or let's make this person a techie or something. And it changed the scenario. Like when you go in and you edit the world, it changed the scenario. But then when I went in to play it, it was garbling up the updated information with the original scenario. So you had like the character was now blind instead of in a wheelchair. So when they talked and you'd see the pictures and everything, it was the blind dude. But it was still pulling in, like, the story that it was generating was based on, oh, the inaccessible crosswalk for a wheelchair user. It was just this weird mishmash that was not, it was getting all garbled. So I deleted that one and I created this one, and I'll show you. So let's look at the page that it created.
Enter Royal Fox. Unseen potential. Heading. Enter Royal Fox.
It generates a name for you too. I don't know if you can change this, but apparently that is my name, Azure Royal Fox. That's the account name that it gave me, interestingly enough.
Navigate the challenges and triumphs of modern life as a blind college student. Make choices that will shape your career in technology, your relationships, and how you overcome everyday obstacles in a world not always built for you. This story is for players who enjoy realistic, character-driven narratives about personal growth and overcoming modern-day challenges. If you're interested in a nuanced exploration of life with a disability, friendship, and forging your own path in the tech world, this journey will resonate with you.
So that doesn't sound too bad. There was one or two phrases in there that was like, okay, that's a little bit of your stereotypical overcoming an adversity sort of a thing, but let's see where it goes.
Age, everyone.
So
Coming of
everyone,
age. Disability represents drama. Friendship, modern. Niche. Slice of life. Technology. Created June 13th, 2025.
okay.
Delete world, button. Make world private, but edit world, button. Open
So
world
before I
editors,
go
customize
into it,
characters,
let's go
locations, and
edit.
world. Remix world, edit world, button. Opens edit world.
Okay, some of these buttons are not working now. I am very annoyed because this app was working literally. I'm recording this on the 15th. So 2 days after I created this scenario, this world.
Make edit world, button.
So it seems
Opens the
like
world editors,
you
customize
have the
characters.
buttons in the background, and then you have this play button that is in the foreground, and so it's like VoiceOver is not...
Remix world, button. These are the core elements of the world. Characters. Edit world, button.
Now that it's not
Opens
behind
the world
anything,
editor,
let's
edit world,
edit
button.
world.
Edit world.
Okay, yeah,
Unseen
it's
potential.
because something was in there. So here is sort of the screen that you get when you choose to create a new world. You're just given a big old text box. You can write a couple paragraphs. You can literally write loads and loads of text. I don't know if there's a character limit. But you can be as vague or as descriptive as you want to be. And then you can, again, once it generates the world and the whole spiel, you can engage with the chatbot and make custom changes further. So let's go ahead.
Unseen potential. Enter Royal Fox. Navigate the challenges and triumphs of modern life. This story is for players who enjoy realistic, age, every coming disability, drama, friend, modern.
Let's
niche,
go
slice of
down.
technology, created, delete world, make world private, remix world. These are the core director notes, story guidance. Edit director notes, button. Add notes to guide how the AI world. World input description. The story takes place in a modern setting. The year is 2025, and you play as a college student named Billy. He is a blind computer science student and hopes to start a career in a technology-related field. He hasn't fully decided what he wants to do yet, but he is considering work in artificial intelligence or game design. His best friend Jim is attending college with him, but is a bit more interested in getting his rock band off the ground than academics at the moment. Ever since he was a kid, Jim wanted to be that famous rock star on stage, playing amazing guitar solos in front of giant crowds. In the story, you play through the daily life of Billy as he attends college, decides what he wants to do with his life, looks for work, and eventually builds his career and family. Even though Billy is blind, he still does pretty much everything everyone else does. This isn't a story about pity. This also isn't a journey of inspiration porn. Billy isn't helpless, he doesn't have superpowers, he's just a regular dude who happens to be blind. That said, throughout Billy's journey, it will be up to you to see him through opportunities and challenges along the way. Some of these challenges may be disability related, while others are just challenges everyone has to face along the way. The story/journey should be a realistic depiction of someone with a disability, but without the typical pity or inspiration slant so often used when stories focus on a disabled character. Some questions or scenarios you may have to encounter along the way. What type of technology degree and career will you follow? Will you be more social or a nerdy hermit? Will you focus on your work and career, or will you also try to settle down and build a family? How will you handle some common situations because of Billy's disability? Like inaccessible technology or websites, lack of transportation, people's misconceptions or low expectations of people who are blind, etc. 5.
So I let it read through all of that text because that is what I originally wrote in that create a world edit box. So you see I kept it pretty vague. I let it, I gave him a couple of main characters. And I told it again, I don't want inspiration porn. I don't want pity. He's just, again, he's just a dude. Like, yeah, he happens to be blind, but he's not superpowered. He's just a regular dude. Not all of the obstacles or not all of the scenarios should be about his disability. So I tried, to keep it as even as I can. I have not played this at all yet, so we're going to see just how well it interpreted what I wrote. So that is kind of your
Story.
creation screen.
Edit story button. Enables
Let's
editing of story.
go.
Undo. Home. Go to home. Button. Go to home. Button. Returns to the
Let's
main
go
home. Go to home.
home,
Gotham's Lab. Unseen potential world card. A group of people.
and then I'll go in and we'll play a
Adult
little
computer
bit here
screen.
just to see what happens here.
Play. Button. Play.
And we got a new story.
Unseen potential. Last played 2 days ago. Button.
Well, I
Tab to
didn't
continue
play it.
playing
I
as well.
literally looked at the first screen that it generated. So I'm going to turn VoiceOver off and let AI do its thing
VoiceOver
here.
off.
The room is quiet. The only sounds the soft click-clack of a braille display and the rhythmic tap of fingers on a keyboard.
Okay. Setting the mood. We got a different narrator this time.
A half-eaten pizza sits on the desk. From the adjacent room, the muffled but distinct sound of an electric guitar riff bleeds through the wall.
Okay. Setting a good vibe here.
And the static blooms in the midnight air.
Okay.
The door bursts open, and Jim strides in, electric guitar slung over his shoulder. He's buzzing with energy.
Dude! Did you hear that? That's the solo for our new song, Digital Ghost. It's gonna be epic.
Okay, he's even got a little bit of inflection there. That's kind of neat.
I heard it, Jim. The whole floor heard it. I think my desk was vibrating.
Boy, he's kind of little, almost sounds like bummed out.
That's the sign of a hit. You're staring at that thing again. Still debugging that class project?
Just finishing up. It's for my AI class. Trying to get ahead. Internship applications are opening up soon, and I need my portfolio to be sharp.
Oh, I'm a little angry.
Internships. Man, that sounds so corporate. You should be coding something cool, like a game where you play as a rock star.
There you go.
I could do the soundtrack.
Okay, I like where this is going. Yeah.
Maybe one day. But right now, I'm thinking more about Innovate Dynamics. Their AI division is doing some incredible stuff. It could be a real career.
Yeah, but is it the dream, man? This guitar, this is my dream. Standing on a massive stage, crowd screaming. You gotta have a dream, Billy, not just a plan.
Okay.
This is my dream. Building something that matters. Something that, I don't know, makes things easier for people. Getting a foot in the door at a place like that is the first step.
I guess. Just don't forget to come up for air. The real world isn't all ones and zeros. Anyway, I'm heading out. The guys are waiting. You should come with.
I can't. This app won't write itself. And unlike you, I have an 8 a.m. lecture.
Rock stars don't do 8 a.m. Suit yourself, man. Don't stay up too late.
Yeah, I'm not even a rock star, and 8 a.m. is like, ugh.
Jim exits, leaving the door ajar. The sound of his enthusiastic, slightly out-of-tune guitar fades down the hallway. Billy sighs, turns back to his computer, and his fingers find the braille display again, resuming their silent, focused dance across the lines of code. You are Billy. Your friend Jim is chasing his rock star dream, but you're focused on building a future in technology. The first crucial step is deciding where to focus your considerable talents and energy. Focus on artificial intelligence. Focus on game design.
I kind of like his idea of, you already got someone to do some audio.
VoiceOver on. Play
So
as in.
let's
Story
see if
choices.
we get a.
Audio settings. Go to home. Audio story choices dialog. Story choices dialog. Audio settings button.
Yeah, this is a real bummer. By the time you see this video, hopefully there will be another update. and they will fix this screen, because this is a major bug that was not in this game or app when I originally planned to record this video. So that's what happens when apps update regularly. Things can get better and things can break. So I'm going to turn VoiceOver off, and I think this is the second. I'm going to choose the second one here. That way we can kind of stay in with our friend. I can still do my nerdy stuff, and hey, video games, you know? I mean, I love AI too, but so now it's generating again.
A computer monitor and keyboard on a desk next to a bed. 9:13.
The quiet tapping of fingers on a specialized keyboard is the only sound in the room. Lines of code, invisible on a standard monitor, materialize as a cascade of refreshing braille dots under Billy's hands.
So that's cool that they're actually taking into account, like, oh, he's coding, and they're talking about the monitor, they're talking about a braille display, and they're even kind of, you know, correctly interpreting and describing how each one of those sort of those things are. So that's kind of neat, actually.
The tactile display is his digital window, a universe of logic and structure felt, not seen. The methodical rhythm is suddenly broken by a wall-shaking power cord from the adjacent room, followed by the muffled thud of a drum beat.
Band practice.
The music is loud, amateurish, but full of raw energy.
Okay.
The door bursts open, and Jim strides in, not bothering to knock. He's holding an electric guitar, a wide grin plastered on his face as if he's just walked off stage at a stadium.
You hear that? That's the sound of destiny, my friend! We finally nailed the bridge for Digital Scream. It's going to be epic.
Billy doesn't lift his hands from the braille display, a faint smile on his face.
Okay.
I heard it, Jim. I think the entire floor heard it. If I get another noise complaint, I'm telling the RA it was you.
Meh.
Let him complain. It's artistic expression. What are you working on anyway? More of that AI stuff? Bet it's not as cool as a face-melting solo.
Something like that. I was thinking about what you said the other day, about making things hard on myself.
Okay.
Jim's enthusiasm softens slightly. He leans his guitar against the wall and pulls up a chair.
Hey man, I didn't mean it like that. I worry, you know?
I know. But you were kind of right. I don't want to just build tools to get by. I want to build worlds. I'm thinking about shifting my focus more toward game design.
Game design? Dude, yes. We could start our own company. You'll be the code genius, and I'll write the soundtracks. Static Bloom live at the E3 opening. Can you imagine?
Yeah, E3 exists. That's hilarious.
I'm not sure the world is ready for a gritty rock opera about database management. But yeah, the idea of creating immersive audio landscapes, environments you can navigate by sound, that feels right. It's a world built on a different sense.
Okay.
See? That's what I'm talking about. You get it. It's all about the experience. People don't just listen to music, they feel it.
Amen to that.
Just like you could make a game that people don't just see, they, I don't know, sense.
He gestures excitedly, knocking over a stack of textbooks on Billy's desk. Careful. That's my advanced algorithms textbook. It costs more than your guitar.
Details.
The heck was
Listen,
that?
we're taking a break. Heading down to the quad to mess around on the acoustics, maybe try to impress some people with the new song. You should come.
Let's hope it gives us a choice.
I've got a lot of work to do. I wanted to start outlining a new project idea.
So let's go ahead and I'm gonna interact, and I'm gonna say, take a break and go with Jim. So I'm doing this without voiceover to see if this changes at all.
VoiceOver on. Plaicin. Story
So
interaction
I
dialogue.
don't.
Story interaction dialogue. Story interaction dialogue. I've got a lot of work to do. I wanted to start outlining a new project idea.
It's weird because it brings up the chat and that works, but when I hit send, it doesn't seem to make it apply. It doesn't apply it.
Interact with the story button. Story interaction dialogue. Dictate.
Take a break and go with Jim.
Insert it. Take send. Use the rotor to access send.
Okay, what about using
Words.
the rotor?
Characters.
No.
Story interaction dialogue. Audio settings button. Story interaction dialogue.
Yeah, so it just says story interaction dialogue. If I double tap that, it
Audio settings
disappears.
button. Go to home button. Edit
So
world button.
again,
Open
there's
story
a.
interaction dialogue. Story interaction dialogue.
Let's go ahead and
I've got a lot
tap
of
and
work to do.
see.
The work will be here when you get
A
back.
screenshot of a social media
Come on,
post with text.
fresh air. Good tunes. My stunning charisma. It's the perfect creative fuel.
Yeah, let's see if we can.
The
Let's
work
see
will
if
be
we
here
can
when
get
you
it
get
to
PC
work
horizontal
here.
We can
scroll bar.
brainstorm
One.
game ideas while I serenade the squirrels.
Fair enough.
We can brainstorm game idea. We can brainstorm
The
game ideas.
decision hangs in the air. The focused solitude of Billy's world, or the spontaneous energy of Jim's.
A decision hangs in the air.
Billy's
Okay.
choices. Go with Jim to the quad and take a break. Decline and stay in to work on his game design ideas. Suggest they work on a simple audio game together right now. Ask Jim more about the feeling of his music for inspiration.
VoiceOver off.
So we're going to choose the first one since it gives us that choice. And again, it's going to take a minute or two. It generates things here. And so we're probably going to be getting to a new scene.
VoiceOver on. Play.
And we'll start the very next scene and we'll wrap up the video here. But this story, actually, I'm kind of intrigued where this is going.
A computer monitor and keyboard on a desk next to a bed. 9.20 euro. Home.
A smile
Sorry.
touches Billy's lips as he lifts his hands from the braille display. The decision to step away from the glowing screen and endless code feels like a small rebellion.
So yeah, I think that's where we are. Well, no, let's go and let's see if it changes scene.
A screenshot.
All right, you win. But if you start serenading squirrels,
VoiceOver off.
I'm leaving you there.
They're lost, man. They're a tough crowd anyway. Let's go!
Okay. All right, now we're going to go to a new scene. Okay, yep, new scene.
The quad is a patchwork of dappled sunlight and shade, buzzing with the low hum of student life. Jim strums a gentle, meandering melody on his acoustic guitar, while Billy sits beside him on a wooden bench, head tilted as if listening to something beyond the music.
So, game design. You can make a character who's a rock star wizard, and I can do the voice acting. I've been practicing my wizard laugh.
Okay.
It's very magical.
I was thinking of something with a bit more substance than a magical wizard. How about a game that doesn't require sight at all? Where the audio design is so precise, you can map the whole world in your head.
Okay.
A sound wizard. Even better. The final boss could be a librarian who hates noise. We'll call it Shh or Die.
Billy chuckles, shaking his head. A new voice cuts in, warm and familiar.
I hope I'm not interrupting the next big game pitch.
Okay, who are you?
Billy recognizes the voice instantly. Chloe, from his ethics and AI class. She always has a unique and thoughtful perspective on their coursework.
Okay.
Chloe. Hey. No, you're just saving me from Jim's descent into wizard-based rock operas.
I will admit I'm not a super fan of Billy's voice. He's a little, I mean, there's deadpan and then there's like stilted robotic, which this guy is very robotronic. But I have to admit, like I said, I mean, there's touches of like, hey, I'm going to create a video game, but hey, let's see, maybe we can create an audio world. But other than that, so far the story, yes, it's used things that Billy would use as a blind person, like his braille display. Hasn't mentioned anything about canes or anything like that, or guide dogs yet, but I like that the story is about school. It's about the, AI versus game design. It's about him and his friend, more carefree versus, getting down to concentrating on the code. Um, I like that it's really, again, so far it does seem to largely be a college story that just happens to be about a dude who happens to be blind. And, it seems so far, at least, it's getting a lot of the aspects of blindness pretty accurate, but it's not forcing them down your throat so far. So, yeah, I'm kind of curious to see where this goes. This should be public, so if you download this app for yourself, you should be able to search. I can't even remember what the heck it was called. Let's go ahead and let's go home. It was called
VoiceOver on. Playen. What? Unseen Potential World Card.
Unseen Potential. So if you want to start this adventure and take it down your own path, feel free. Let me know in the comments below if you do check it out and where your adventure goes. But that is a look at the app. Again, I was going to say overall it's pretty accessible, which it is, except there are 2 or 3 different core areas, mainly the choices screens. Again, that did used to work, because I remember in the Batman story I was previously accessibly able to make those choices on my own with VoiceOver. So I hope they fix that again. Hopefully by the time you watch this there will be an update that fixes that. Again, if the creators of this app are watching, just kind of do turn VoiceOver on and do a quick check of your app, explore the app a little bit, and make sure that your buttons are labeled, make sure that if it's a link or a button or something that you're able to interact with, that it actually works. And I don't know if it's a VoiceOver thing or an app thing, as to when I say interact with the world. I don't know. Well, no, because that was the one a world that I created. I swear to God that worked different, like a little bit differently, and when I looked at this earlier too. But yeah, I don't know. When I hit the send button, it just doesn't seem to do anything. So I tried it with VoiceOver on and off. And either way, it really didn't seem to do anything. It didn't give me any indication that it had understood what I had sent or that it processed it at all. So there are a few bugs. There are a couple of accessibility issues. But here's hoping that things improve over time. And it will give you a fairly interactive way to do more different stories and adventures. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a like if you did. You can follow me on Twitter at BGFH79, Blue Sky at Illegally Cited, illegally-cited.com, and right here on YouTube. Until next time, I will chat with everybody again later.